This is Vanessa Lane Jennings with the Jennings Law Firm, located here in beautiful Ocala. Join me every single Friday at 10:30 for Legal Lane. We'll be discussing various legal topics such as family law, criminal law, contracts, and much more. So this is your chance to call in with your legal questions and have them answered. That's every Friday, 10:30, right here, WOCA The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock, and Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center, and he's going to share with us his thoughts on why we need to be donating blood, but I'm going to pick his brain a little bit about sports and Halloween. So those are the two things. Those are the two things today. Good morning, Galen. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Pretty good. You know what I want to tell you about sports people and music people is that, and I'm not referring to myself necessarily, but if I hung out with sports people and asked them about politics, they almost always had a different opinion than if I hung out with music people and asked them about politics. It is kind of weird, and I would always lean toward being influenced by the sports people more than the music people, because I felt like the sports people were more analytical and the music people were more emotional or something, if that makes sense to you, even though I'm more of a musical person. You know what I mean? I would lean toward your camp when it came to if I didn't have an opinion, if I was waiting to hear somebody else's opinion before I could make a decision because I didn't know, sometimes that happens. I think that happens to all of us, right? And so I bring that up because former Boston Red Sox pitcher Curt Schilling is going to host a daily online radio show, and it's a political show. Have you heard this?
Oh yeah. I follow Curt on Twitter. His views are very right wing. He got kicked off of ESPN because of his views, and plus I love him because he won us a World Series in 2004.
So he's going to be doing and if he's right wing, then that would make sense why he would be doing a radio show, because that's what seems to work financially. What people will sponsor that. Yeah,
agreed. And plus he's going to run for senator in 2018.
Oh, is he? Okay. So this is kind of maybe this is part of his plan, his game plan.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yeah, you got to remember he's going to run in a state that is very, very left wing, and left leaning.
Sure.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, but he's beloved by those who are sports fans, baseball fans.
No, not in the state of Rhode Island, because he owned after he got out of baseball, he opened up a software gaming company, and the state of Rhode Island wrote him a great big grant, and the company just folded. It didn't make it. So there's a lot of people that hate him up there.
Wow.
Because he took money from the state.
Oh, he's the guy we had in other news last week. That's right. You had an other news story about him and how people were hating him because they all lost money.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he didn't lose. He didn't lose any individual's money. He got a grant from the state, and then the state was supposed to give him, I think it was $30 million, and they ended up only giving him $20 million, and so he didn't have enough money to finish the project, and so it folded. So it was state money. It wasn't it was taxpayers' money, yes, but it wasn't an individual investor's money.
No, but taxpayers, and they were all upset about it. We had that story.
And this happened like 6 years ago, so it's nothing current.
So the magazine, New York Magazine, says that the show that he will host will be announced today and will feature political commentary and calls from listeners, and eventually include a video live stream.
Yeah. He's very into social media. He does a lot of Periscope and Twitter.
One of the things he was made called to task for, I guess you would say, is his anti-transgender remarks on Facebook.
If you read it, it's not anti-transgender.
Oh, I agree. I did read it. Yeah, I have it right here. It says,
I didn't think it was.
This is what he wrote. He wrote, "A man is a man no matter what they call themselves. I don't care what they are, who they sleep with. Men's room was designed for the penis."
That's right. Good for him.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, I don't think it was anti-transgender. I mean, if you're transgender and you are converted, then okay, I can accept that. So
Yeah. So the other sports thing before we get to the Halloween thing was Michael Crabtree. I watched this video where he touched his shoulder after making a touchdown, right? And now they're saying he did the the slash throat gesture. And so he got, an unsportsmanlike penalty or something like that?
Yep. I can't believe you're not talking about the Cubs. That was the biggest incident.
I didn't have that. What was it?
Sports. What? The Cubs?
Yeah.
The Cubs are in the World Series for the first time in 71 years.
Oh, that's the story?
That's a big deal. I mean, just think about this. In our lifetimes, the Cubs have never been to the World Series. That is a big story. So,
well, I think they weren't they in the World Series in Back to the Future?
Yes, but that was in the past. Yeah, and they're playing the Cleveland Indians, who haven't won the World Series in 57 years. So it's going to be a fantastic World Series, and the World Series right now baseball is getting better numbers than football.
Because
football is because of a lot of things. I think that the game itself has just not been very good this year. A lot of the stars aren't playing well. I think there's some carryover because you can't watch football without 5 different political ads every time there's a commercial break. So, yeah, I think football is definitely losing momentum.
So what do you do? I mean, what do you do if you have somebody throwing money at you to put their ad on your show? I thought.
Oh no, you can't say no. Again, and the NFL is all about money.
Yeah,
it's always about money. But it's also, I think, starting to catch up to them the way they handle some of the domestic violence issues that have come up. I think it's, and I'll give you one of the things from my personal view. So when I used to watch football and I would see a really big hit, I would go, "Oh, what a great hit! Wow!" Now when I see a big hit like that, I go, "Oh, I hope he's okay." And then in the back of my brain, I'm like, "Man, when that guy's 50, he's not going to be able to count to 10 because of that hit." And I feel guilty for watching it. And I think that is starting to really erode the viewing pleasure of a football game.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that's a definite factor.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So, yeah, because you view a big hit. They used to make NFL Films, which is famous for these great, short films with great music and the deep voice, and they would have every year they would have the best hits of the season, and you would watch it and go, "Wow, he killed that guy!" Almost,
because we didn't realize the lifetime effects of that.
Yeah, the impact that concussions have on your long-term care.
Yeah.
And because we never look, good, bad, or indifference. You don't look at football players as human beings. You looked at them as if they were these bigger-than-life guys who were stronger and tougher and could just take it. And but you meet some of these former players and they're hurt. They can barely walk. They've had 2 knee replacements and a hip replacement. Their hands are mangled, and now they're starting to kill themselves because of their concussion syndrome. And so it's a problem.
Wow.
I still enjoy it, but it's not as much as I used to.
Do you think, or do you know of any high school or maybe college football players that were very promising athletes, very talented, but that was all ruined because they had one of those traumatic incidents at that level?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's happened a couple of times in college. I know it's happened a couple of times in the pros, because every time you get a concussion, you're more likely to get a concussion. It's one of those kinds of things, and it can take years to heal from one. So, I can't come up with one off the top of my head. I know it's happened.
Well, there was one guy we had a guy, we didn't talk to him, but we had a story about a guy who voluntarily left the NFL because he didn't want that to be his future.
Yeah.
Remember?
That is becoming a bigger and bigger reality where these people are walking away from, $1 million deals because they want to be able to function. The head traumas are a real problem. They really are. It's a real situation. Now, today's NFL player knows exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah, they choose
They
to
understand the risk. It's a choice. You're absolutely right. And I don't think any of them want you to feel sorry for them. But at the same time, when you watch these guys get hit, because they think, look, when I was 25, I was indestructible. I could do anything and get away with anything. And these guys are 25 years old, and you don't think about how you're going to feel when you're 40 or 50 or 60. You're thinking about how good I feel today. And look at me, I'm in the NFL, and I got hundreds of thousands of people cheering me on. I mean, that's a type of drug that you can't find anywhere else. I understand how they get there, but at the same time, they have to understand what they're doing to their body.
I don't really know enough about sports to comment intelligently, but just looking at the lineup of the players on a football team, it looks to me like some of them could translate their talents to other sports, and others probably couldn't. I mean, some of those guys look like they were made for football, and other guys, like quarterbacks typically, look like they could be okay in a baseball game. Like Tim Tebow, for example, I guess is a good example, or other sports. I mean, I don't know that God gave you the talent for one sport. He probably gave you the talent for sports in general.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Well, you're an athlete, and there's been lots of players that have played two different sports professionally, and a lot of these guys played a different sport even in college and high school especially. So, yeah, I mean, they're just naturally gifted athletically, but a lot of these guys love football, and I can appreciate they're doing what they absolutely love to do. And I tip my hat to them, and they're very good at it. I mean, they're doing something that very few people on the planet are even capable of doing. And it's just when I'm watching it, when I'm viewing it, I hesitate. I love to see a beautiful pass now instead of that big hit.
What do you think?
The wide receiver gets cleaned out, so it's different.
From a televised point of view, what do you think baseball could do to make the World Series as big as the Super Bowl?
Well, I don't know if if you look at the Super Bowl is one game, and it gets more hype than anything else, whereas the World Series could be 7 games. I will tell you this: if the World Series goes to a Game 7 this year, with the Cubs and the Cleveland Indians, you may see a huge overnight rating. I mean, I think you guys may even want to watch it because the Cubs haven't won the World Series in 101 years. Think about that. I mean, in 71 years they haven't won a World Series or been to the World Series. So.
All right, let me squeeze a phone call
but
in.
then again, you haven't watched the Super Bowl. That's tough. You watch the halftime show. There's no.
Huh?
You've watched the Super Bowl at times.
I have.
Yeah.
I've never watched the whole Super Bowl.
Not a whole one, but you've watched the first half.
You saw me looking at the TV. My mind wasn't looking at that thing. I promise you, I wasn't looking at it. No.
Okay.
No.
Well, and they're two different things. I mean, baseball is a game for purists. It doesn't try to draw people in with, things that are not the game related like football does. Football brings in cheerleaders that have nothing to do with the game. They have a halftime show that has nothing to do with the game. And people watch the Super Bowl for the commercials as much as a football game. It has nothing to do with the game. So it's completely different.
Here's a thought about the halftime show. The halftime show in the NFL stems from the halftime show at the college and high school level. And I think the whole event of football in high school anyway does actually the halftime show does have something to do with football because what it's about is school spirit. You have the band representing the school and you have the team representing the school. Exactly. And they're both on the field in that same show. And it's all about team you supporting your team, which is your school. Now, once it gets to the NFL, there's it doesn't make sense to have a halftime show, but it still is part of the whole package.
Well, I've gone to a lot of high school games. I can't remember ever watching the halftime show with a band out there. I just
some people do.
Yeah, but they are.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying myself. I think the people who love it, their kids are in the band or they were in the band. I don't think anybody goes to a high school football game saying, "Wow, can't wait for this halftime show." Unless your child is in the band.
You're probably
and then
right.
You're not there to watch the game. You're there to watch your child.
Okay, no, not necessarily.
No.
But you're probably right about what you just said. However, I think what I'm trying to say is not to counter that, but just to say I think the whole event called high school football is about school spirit.
Yeah.
And rooting for your school, and the band represents the school just as much as the team does.
It does.
Did we lose Galen?
No, I just don't agree. I don't think the band. I don't know if the band adds. I don't know.
Really?
I think a lot of the kids who are in school who go to the football game are going to socialize with the other friends.
That too.
So I think
that too. So when you're on the side, when you're on the boulevard, and you're during the Christmas parade, and you're with Forest High School. Here comes the Forest High School band, marching band. Aren't you cheering? Hey, that's my school.
Yeah,
hey,
you're cheering.
Hey, that's my school right there.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, I'm not a band guy. I didn't hang out with anybody.
So the football players pass. Do the football players enter the parade? Do they go in the parade?
Sometimes.
The only football teams that are on there is the MCYFL division winner. So the Pee Wee winner.
So there's your team, yeah.
Yeah, but the band.
So you don't think there's a connection there?
But the first few Super Bowls, the first few conference games, actually had high school bands perform during halftime. It wasn't until a few years after that they started making these grandiose events because they knew the value of team spirit.
Okay.
Well,
I think they did it because they had 15 minutes and they had to fill it with something.
The bloomin' onion.
I think that's what it is. I mean, because there's a lot of these.
What does the bloomin' onion have to do with baseball?
Let's take. Agreed. That's about a marketing campaign. But you look at like the NBA. The NBA has a halftime, and what they'll bring on is dancing cheerleaders or a dog that does tricks or something like that has nothing to do with team spirit.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't. It's just like, okay,
but in high school it does.
Because I got 15 minutes of bed.
In high school it does.
In high school, it's bands are pep rallies.
Oh my gosh! All right. Every time I have, I know
rallies are team spirit. But I don't think. I think cheerleaders lead chants. They're cheerleaders. The band is part of the ambiance. When they're playing a song and people get involved.
Are you? Gator
Nobody
fan?
goes to the stadium to watch the band.
Are you a fan of the Gators?
And I'll tell you this: one thing that drives me crazy. One thing that drives me crazy is when you go to a stadium and they have a high school band, and rather than hearing the high school band play during like a timeout or something, they pipe in music. I hate it. I hate piped in music that's going over the PA system when we could listen to the band. That, to me, would add more ambiance in what you're talking about than anything else.
If you had, if in the Gator game you never had da 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 go Gators, you would lose something.
Great.
That's
agreed.
Yeah.
So I agree with that 100%. That's fantastic. But I don't. During halftime when they're performing, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm getting something to drink. I'm talking to the person next to me about the game.
Right.
I could care less what the band does.
Okay. All right, let me take a few phone calls.
Now, there's a few bands where you have to watch it. Like, you go to some of the bands, some of the traditionally African-American colleges, and their bands are incredible. And there are people that go to the game because their team really is horrible, and the best thing on the field is the band. That I agree with. I understand that. But nobody goes to a football game and says, wow, I can't wait for this halftime show. Or they're not a fan.
And that doesn't really counter what I'm saying, because I'm not saying anything to counter that. All I'm saying is that I think the halftime show that we see in the NFL stems from, in an unnecessary way, it stems from the high school years.
It does.
And the high school.
I've never countered that.
Right, and I think in the high school years, it's about team spirit. It's about school spirit.
That's right.
That part I don't agree with.
Really, I don't think any sporting event.
Remember when I graduated from Forest in 1988. By my senior year, we had like 18 members in our band. So our band was never really a part of the school because it was so small.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I'm talking in general, not about Forest High School.
It was. They
Can
had a band.
This is a beautiful segment that we do every morning. I have like 8 pages on my desk of shows we haven't done. This is going to be 9th. How is the blood supply? We need to take a break. We'll take the calls on the other side of the break, but otherwise Jan's going to get mad at me. I got to do a commercial here.
Yeah, we're actually in really good shape. It's October. Weather's been fantastic. We have a 7-day blood supply, so thank you guys very much. And just continue to get out there and give the good life and donate blood.
All right, and thank Penn Flooring and Palm Garden. You know what I'm going to say. Penn Flooring has beautiful flooring. Check them out, 1201 Southwest 17th Street. Palm Garden of Ocala has a great program for anybody who needs health and rehabilitative services, long-term, short-term, respite. We'll take a break. Be right back with Galen.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Palm Garden wants to get to the heart of the matter. If you've been in the hospital as a cardiac patient, maybe you have a pacemaker or congestive heart failure or an arrhythmia, or perhaps you're a heart bypass patient, then consider Palm Garden as your rehab choice. With proven outcomes second to none, Palm Garden fixes broken hearts. Call today at 854-6262. That's 854-6262.
Are you a list maker? Got your day planner laid out to structure your day? Well, here's something to add to your list. Make time for something really important. Visit Highland Memorial Park, because how you prepare for that moment is so important. Why Highland? Sure, it's a beautiful place, but aside from the beauty and the quiet reflection, practical people will appreciate the many options. Take a tour and make some serious plans. The Highland staff will confidentially show you all options and payment plans. Call today, 369-1020. Highland Memorial Park. Peace and reflection for your family.
All right, 26 minutes after 8 o'clock. Gosh, 46 degrees. Galen Unold on the phone, of course, and I have a topic. I have a topic that goes on my desk. Good morning, Jan. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air.
Yes, Galen, I need help. I'm betting on the World Series. You're a baseball expert. Who's going to win?
Cleveland.
There you go. Simple answer.
In 6. Cleveland will win in 6.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, this is Jim. I got the curse of the Billy Goat and the curse of Rocky Colavito.
Yep.
What is that? I don't understand what that is.
Billy Goat is was buried somewhere on Wrigley Field. They cursed him because they didn't let him in or something like that.
Okay.
And then the other one is complicated. So he got traded. That was a long story, and I don't think there's anything to it. I think the Cleveland Indians have just not been very good, and neither have the Cubs, by the way.
All right, so in the break, I think we came to a draw here.
Yes.
I don't think anybody ever said that people show up at the football game for the band, except for the moms and dads of the kids in the band.
Mm-hmm. And I agree that the band adds some ambiance, because you have 15 minutes to fill, so you might as well throw the band out there.
But it's more than ambiance. I think what the band does at the high school level now, and maybe at the college level.
Yep.
But what the band does, I think, is it contributes to the school spirit.
It does.
And I think the biggest pep rally of any school is always a football game. Mm-hmm. I think the football game becomes the pep rally for the school more than any other sport. Not that maybe it's unfair, but that seems to be the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have pep rallies for baseball teams.
But I mean, just as a pep rally for the school, though, I think the football game becomes the pep rally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have a homecoming dance for the homecoming game for the basketball team or the baseball team, or they don't do anything special for senior night throughout the whole school like they do for football.
Yeah.
Football is the driving train. I can't disagree with that.
But I'm looking at the whole event, and all I'm trying to say is that at the NFL level, the halftime show kind of becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
Not that we don't like it, those of us who like it, but it stems from the high school level, I think.
It does.
The whole thing. All right.
Of course, they have 15 minutes to fill. I agree with that 100%.
Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
We're in Bellevue. We're right there at the corner of, is it Absher? It's Walgreens right there.
Oh, okay.
The topic was going to be how haunted houses might cause paranoia. We'll cover that another day.
There's too much going on in sports for you to talk about haunted houses.
It is not.
I really came on here expecting to talk about the Cubs.
I guess you did. Sounds like you did. You had your wish. All right. You be careful. Thank you for what you do, Galen.
All right. Bye, y'all.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. A search in Oklahoma for a man accused of wounding 2 police officers last night, then carjacking a vehicle and driving to a relative's house.
We believe there was some sort of altercation, resulted in the deaths of 2 individuals, which we believe are related to the suspect.
Mark Hopgrand of the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office, the suspect believed to be armed with an AK-47. The U.S.-led coalition denying it conducted an airstrike in an Iraqi town last week that killed a dozen civilians. Human Rights Watch is investigating. Prices at the pump taking a dip.
The price of gasoline now averages $2.25. It is down 4 cents in the past 2 weeks, and this comes after rising about 14 cents since August 5.
Oil expert Trilby Lundberg. Tulsa with the lowest price, $1.98. San Francisco the highest at $2.78 a gallon. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Insult women.
It's all talk.
Well, here we go again.
It's really bad judgment.
Issues, not insults.
She should be ashamed of herself.
The time for talk is over. Now it's America's turn to make its voice heard. Fox News Channel has election night covered, fair and balanced, up-to-the-minute exit polls, breaking race results, and powerful analysis from the best team in politics. Plus, it all happens live from our new state-of-the-art studio. Fox News Channel has election night covered because we are America's election headquarters.
Fox News Sunday is America's wake-up call with one of the most trusted names in politics, Chris Wallace, asking the tough questions to Washington's power players.
Was that statement by you a mistake?
Engaging America in critical debates on the biggest issues.
Let's get serious about our economic future.
And taking a look ahead to our nation's next big moves.
What should we do about Pakistan going forward?
Only Chris Wallace has America's wake-up call every Sunday on Fox News Sunday. Check your local listing.
Howdy, folks. For over 4 decades, we at Dairy Queen have been proud to serve our customers with the finest and freshest cook-to-order, quick-service comfort foods in the world. For instance, our new Philly steak and cheese sandwiches with grilled peppers and onions on an artisan focaccia bread bun. So steaming hot and yummy you won't believe it. We also added seasoned potato skins filled with queso cheese and bacon. Wow, they're tasty. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
The secret to longevity, it may just come down to these 2 words: eat less. Realtor Magazine says this is a hot trend. Urinals are going from train stations, ballparks, and public restrooms right into the home. So what makes people stay madly in love? The study found that couples who use good communication skills are more likely to remain deeply in love because they know they're both on the same page.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
You have that drip coming down from the corner of the room, but where did it start from?
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind the work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
Hi, I'm Big Daddy Don Garlitz, asking you to support adoption by purchasing a Choose Life license plate from your county tag office. You know it costs a lot to give a child life. Many times a woman is forced to make a bad choice because of financial pressures. Help save the lives of the unborn children by aiding women whom choose life instead of abortion. Take a stand for life. Purchase your Choose Life license plate today. For more information, go to chooselife.org or call 352-624-2854.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala!